I've been waiting already.
Alright,
May as
I'm
well
like,
get her
this is
going.
like testing to see if we're live. But like, if we're live, that'd be fun. But like, I already clicked start. Oh, hey, it says starting. Alright, your audience will see it in a moment.
Hey,
Cool.
sweet.
Alright, sweet, we're totally live.
Oh,
Fuck
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
boys.
Alright.
Hello, we
Patty
are
started
back.
off.
We are back with Jank Talk Episode 2, recap of the NFL Divisional Weekend. My name is Addy, the A in Jank. I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm really glad of our win this weekend.
Fuck
Going-
you.
Yeah,
Going
fuck.
on to the N in Jank.
Hey, it's me, the N and Jank. I'm Nolan, big ass New England Patriots fan. Happy with another W, as if it was
Wait, why does it say we're
completely
offline?
a shocker. But yeah,
Oh, no,
we
we're live.
beat down on the Titans. Excited.
Hell yeah.
What?
Alright, we're still good. It just said we were offline for a second. YouTube's being finicky. Sorry, let's continue. Oh, hi,
Keenan,
my
it's
name's
on you.
Keenan, and I like the Jaguars. You know what else likes the Jaguars? God does, because they won this weekend.
What the hell?
God is on the side of the Jank.
Okay, send a link, bro. I got one of my
Alright,
friends
I'm
to
like-
listen
I'm
to
like-
it. He's like,
I'm
I'll
like
listen to it
trying
while
to
driving.
find where the fuck the link is. This is fucking hard, man.
This is a real tough time.
Did you run it through Jank Talk? The Jank Talk account that we have?
Alright, I found it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Boom. Skitty skip pop pop.
Alright,
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Boom
baby.
boom boom.
Hell yeah, baby. That's a good
Right,
thumbnail.
I like that.
I like that
Let's go.
thumbnail.
It's a
Alright,
good
so let's start things off with the most intriguing game of the week. At least most exciting at the end. The Minnesota Vikings game with the Stephon Diggs catch at the end. That was great. That was so great.
That was the greatest moment of my life. I was screaming, shitting, and crying at the same time. I was there.
I wanna, yeah. I just
I
wanna say,
it was a good time.
Let Keenan speak, bro.
I wanna say that as a non-Vikings fan, and as just somebody who was watching the game for shits and giggles because it's awesome, that was probably the most exciting game I've witnessed, like, since the Super Bowl of last year. That was absolutely immaculate. I was screaming. I was getting teared up watching Dr. Keenum pull the move of the century. Stephon Diggs tearing up in the end zone. It was all just absolutely beautiful. It's why you watch football. It was just the best. Fucking amazing. Can't get much better.
I gotta say, coming off of being at that game in person, it was probably the greatest, at least football experience of my life. I was crying with a lot of people, just hugging random fans. Never been to a Vikings game before, so it'll be hard to top that one as my first. But yeah, it was the greatest moment of my
You
life.
might not be able to top that in Vikings history, honestly, even
That's
just
no
watching
joke.
that.
How about the Eagles, man? Come on, you
What
can't
about the Eagles? Who are you coming to this weekend? You're coming to Philadelphia to play
in
in
good
a
weather.
cold weather.
No, it's gonna be 50s, man.
50 for the high. The game starts at 6:30 p.m.
Come on, bro. It's Case Keenum's gonna pull off a W. You just wait.
Case
Minneapolis
Keenum.
Miracle has just proven that I think nothing can stop the fucking Vikings.
You really can't stop the Vikings. I mean,
All right. We'll get to the Vikings game. Let's start in chronological order with the game so we can recap them all. So let's start with the Philadelphia Eagles and Atlanta Falcons game, where Philadelphia was able to come up with that W 15-10 after a stop on
Wow.
4th and goal, and Julio Jones was unable to make the catch, and Jalen Mills was in the
Disgusting.
correct position.
Julio Jones
What?
didn't make a catch.
Okay, so the main question is, did the Falcons lose this game or did the Eagles
Falcons
win?
lost.
All right, there's some
They lost the line.
freaking Julio Jones. Julio Jones should have caught that ball. Julio Jones is a freak of nature, and should have
Nolan-
caught that ball. There's no question. The dude catches anything that comes his way
But
9
Nolan-
times out of 10.
He's not their red
Yes.
zone threat.
No, he isn't.
I mean,
But
he's still Julio Jones, but I wouldn't say he's their optimal red zone threat. He's a tall, lanky guy. You know, he can be mangled by a defensive back.
Yeah, but I mean, in the end, in the situation that Julio was in, and in the situation that Matt Ryan was in, when you're sitting 4th and goal and you're getting chased down and you're running away and you're trying to keep the play alive, and it's like, all right, give it your last effort. He tossed it up to Julio, a dude who had the size mismatch because he's Julio Jones. He has a size mismatch on anybody. He made the right decision.
Oh, no, and I thought Julio was open.
And the pass was solid. It was where Julio and nobody else could have gotten it, and Julio went up for it and just simply missed it. And yeah, I think that.
I don't even know if he would have gotten his feet down, though, right?
We don't know. We don't know if he would have gotten his feet down because he definitely landed out of. But in the end, that was the Falcons' game to win, and I think they screwed it up. Not to put anything down from the Eagles' impressive defense because that was stout.
I'll tell you exactly how they screwed up here. They're 1st and goal on the 1, and they don't even run it once. You got the 2 best power backs probably in the league. I don't care if it takes you 3-4 times to run it up the middle. You got 1 yard. You got 1 yard to punch it in. And
are you talking about the Eagles now? Are you talking about the Eagles?
I'm talking about the Falcons.
I mean, the Falcons, it was 1st and goal at the 9. It was 1st down. They went to a fade pass to Julio. 2nd down, they tried that dump off pass, the underhand shovel pass, which fell on the ground. The 3rd down, then they got the slant to Julio for 7 out of 9 yards. And then 4th down was the rollout play. So they weren't at the 1 yard line.
My bad. I must have been thinking of a different game.
I'm just tough play call.
My mind is
tough play call.
I like the play call on that entire drive by the Falcons until the last 4 plays. Like, I understand the first fade route to Julio because Julio Jones is huge compared to Ronald Darby on the side. He has probably 3 or 4 inches on Ronald Darby and a huge wingspan. But the ball was placed in such a terrible spot that Ronald Darby knew that it was going to be a fade. Versus if Matt Ryan would have given even a second to Julio to pretend like it was a slant, which it very well could have been a slant as well, Ronald Darby might have bitten and it would have been a wide open touchdown. So that play was screwed up from the beginning. 2nd down, I don't know what that shovel pass was, and it was to their 3rd or 4th string running back while you have Tevin Coleman on your team, who is perfect for that situation. So I don't understand that play. 3rd down, I still don't think that was a catch, but it was a catch. Why didn't you try to throw that into the end zone? Why throw it 2 yards short? I don't understand either. 4th down, I really don't like that rollout play because you cut the field in half, right? You can only throw to 1 or 2 people in a quarter of the end zone rather than if you called a regular slants pass play, you have the entire field to work with. And Julio tripped or slid on that play because of the play design. It was such terrible field conditions, if you saw before the game, that a player probably is going to slip if he has to call a comeback route there, which Julio did. Then Jalen Mills did a good job of pushing him to the ground, not letting him up right away. And I mean, Jalen Mills isn't as tall as Julio, so there was no way that Jalen Mills was going to be able to jump over Julio and bat down that pass. Julio just didn't come down with the catch.
Yeah, I think absolutely Eagles defense did a good job doing what you can. You can't play man-to-man on Julio. Doesn't matter what you do. If you're going 1-on-1, the dude is going to burn you. And the tough defense that they played on him on the goal line there for 4th down was legitimate. They screwed him up. They screwed up the entire play. Overall, I don't even think it was a terrible play call. You put yourself in a position where it's just kind of like, give it to put him in a position where Julio can make a play. And it just didn't quite work out for him. Now, I don't want to hold off either. Nick Foles, backup quarterback, had honestly, in my opinion, the best performance you can ask from him. Like he played pretty damn well for a second stringer.
So I think with Nick Foles, he knew exactly how much he needed to do. Right? He didn't do more than what was asked of him. He didn't have a touchdown pass. He had 246 yards in the air, which is exactly what you would expect from a high-end backup quarterback. He isn't really a starter anymore in this league, even though he has started almost 50 games.
Mm-hmm.
All he had to do was hand the ball off to Ajayi, who fumbled the ball in the second play of the game. I was so angry. But
Ajayi's kind of a fumble wizard, though, man. I wouldn't give it all to him.
He had 4 fumbles this game.
Yeah,
4.
that's Ajayi for you.
Only it was ridiculous. Nick Foles should have had a pick, but somehow the Falcons defender, thought he would go all Dragon Ball Z, kick the ball in the air, and Torrey Smith caught it right before the half. So we made so many mistakes in the first half, but the second half, Nick Foles played flawless football.
I do think he played damn well. All
Yeah.
right. Any other comments for that one?
Any thoughts, Keenan?
JHI sucks. Very overrated. Nick Foles.
Yep.
Overrated.
Nick
I'm there
Foles
with
is
you on
really
that one.
underrated. He played well. And,
Put in Barner.
I don't really have much to say.
Why wouldn't you put in Garrett Blunt?
You put in Barner for the first 2 downs and put Blunt as the power back for the third down.
That's fair.
He's a third down back any day. Barner's got the speed. Come on. Why don't they use him more?
Come on.
I think you
Come
guys
on.
just drop Ajayi. What did you guys sign him to a contract? Or you guys just have him for the season?
Dude,
I
he
love
wasn't
Ajayi.
that bad.
I love Ajayi.
He was not that bad. He just fumbled.
He needs to
The
be on.
entire team
Okay,
was
but,
nervous, dude.
Okay, you look at nerves, and look at any of the other football games from this weekend. Nobody had that many mistakes. I mean, come on.
He had
Exactly.
1 mistake, and he also had 3 or 4 really good screen passes and or runs throughout the game. We need Ajayi on that team because LeGarrette Blunt is old, and he's more
That's
of a
true.
power back versus Ajayi being the first and second down back. But Corey Clement is the most underrated player on our team.
I like that. I like your second tight end. What's his name? Selleck. Yeah, Selleck's really good.
And then
Tom
Trey
Selleck.
Burton. Trey Burton made that huge block on LeGarrette Blount's 4th down touchdown run. So it was just a good game in the trenches for the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles are going to win this year if they are in a shootout because Nick Foles is not the type of quarterback
Yeah,
to
can
win
they
a
beat a team that
shootout.
scores 45 points?
I don't
No,
think
they
I think
wouldn't-
the Jags could have
the
beat
New
any
England
team this
Patriots.
week.
They would not be able to beat a team that scores more than 24 points. There's no way the Eagles are going to score 28 points in their
And you're
remaining 2
facing a-
games. But
This is the Eagles' defense, though. This is the Eagles'
if
defense.
the Eagles defense could keep the Falcons to 10 points, I'm pretty confident. But we can go on to the next game if none of you have
I got
anything else
nothing,
to
man.
talk
I'm not
about
a big
in
Eagles
this
fan. I
game.
don't really follow too much of their stuff, but
We were doing this podcast
That's
while the game was
true.
going on, so I wasn't even watching that closely.
I was
you literally
definitely
left
watching
us, man.
closely.
You left us for the game.
Wouldn't you do the same thing if the
I'd
Jags were playing?
multitask like a respectable human.
Well, I watch games way differently.
You gotta use push to talk, bro.
I can tell.
Gotta let those emotions, be on the outside of the mic.
If the Eagles lost, I think I
Outside of the
probably
mic.
would have.
And that's
broke my
fine,
TV.
you're allowed to do that. You're just gonna have to pay for it.
I've broken a laptop before while watching.
You broke a
the-
TV
Hey, remember when you
before.
shot an airsoft
Yeah, but that wasn't for
bullet
an Eagles
at
game.
your TV?
Airshot. Airsoft the TV.
Okay, we can move on to the Patriots and.
Oh, that game was
Titans
awful to
game.
watch.
Yeah,
That was awful.
Let's really have a conversation
Nolan,
about this one.
do you want to give a recap of the
Okay,
game?
So let's have a recap of the game here. Exactly what I said would happen came true, except I was wrong in giving the Tennessee Titans any credit for being able to beat the Patriots. The God himself, Tom Brady, did in fact show up, played a damn good game. We throw in Brandon Bolden a little bit, a man who I almost entirely forgot about, but was in fact a running back for the Patriots for the past couple of years, who has been on and off the practice squad for a while. I'm glad to see him coming back into the swing of things and becoming a possible threat. We showed that we definitely still got some stuff. We got Chris Hogan back. Didn't make any catches, but he made some nice blocks, made some good plays. And overall, I think the Patriots look pretty stout. Obviously, it's against the Titans, who were arguably the worst team in the playoffs. But overall, very happy with what I saw. Patriots looking really good. Not excited to play the Jaguars.
You better not be.
Not at all excited to play the Jaguars. But,
I wouldn't be excited at all.
Not excited. I think Calais Campbell is going to.
I think Calais Campbell, Ngakoue, and Jackson are going to kick your ass.
Yeah, it's going to be
Darius. I'm thinking Miles Jack.
From this game, though, I think the Titans made a huge mistake. The safety made a huge mistake when he said we want to make Tom Brady look like Blake Bortles.
Because Blake Bortles was a god.
You cannot give Tom Brady any extra motivation to do better. He's already the GOAT as he is, and then you're gonna go out and kind of invoke his inner GOAT and just
the dude already still plays with a chip on his shoulder despite having GOAT status.
Exactly. So why fuel the beast? And that's exactly what the safety from the Titans did.
Yeah, he fueled the beast right there. And it's understandable. Like, he wants to talk some shit and, get some things hyped up. The Jacksonville Jaguars were talking shit to the Steelers all game. And it was getting in their heads, I think, a little bit. But when you're talking shit to the GOAT, you need to pull some shit that's going to really get in his head. You're going to call him out and say, like, I'm going to beat your ass. And then you need to go out there and make a defensive stand or a defensive play right away in the game. Set the tone, back it up a little bit. But he did not do a thing to...
He didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah, no. He didn't do anything to hinder Tom Brady's performance. He just continued to do what he does. And, yeah, I think that was a terrible decision on his part. But you know what? If you're going to talk some shit, Tom Brady is notorious for being an outstanding shit talker. So I'm sure that Tom commended that in trying to, get in his head and trying to do something, mentally. But it just didn't work out for him, and he woke the beast, and that was just not a good call. But overall, that game was pretty fucking boring, even as a Pats fan to watch. But I was happy.
We all knew that game was going to be boring, and the Titans fired their head coach this morning, which is so depressing considering he brought you to the divisional round of the playoffs.
I'm a little sad. I really wanted him to stay in the division.
I think he's solid.
When was the last time they even made it to the divisional? Wasn't it like 98 or something?
Probably when they lost to the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, pretty sure
I think that there was no way that with Mike Mularkey was going to stay with the Titans unless if they went to the Super Bowl. Or if they beat Tom Brady in Foxborough. How can you fire?
That would be my worst nightmare because the Titans always beat the Jags in the playoffs.
When was the last time
the Titans went to the Super Bowl and beat the Jaguars in the AFC Championship?
So you say always and then point to one.
If there's one team on earth that can absolutely shit on the Titans every time that we play them, that can shit on the Jaguars every time that we play them, it's the Titans. Like, they always shit on us. It makes me a little sad.
I think that the Jaguars would crap all over.
Moving on,
but
but you look at the past two games. This year,
but let's go back to the Patriots. Let's go back to the Patriots. The Patriots, obviously, they were going to win that game. There was no question about it. Tom Brady was just being Tom Brady. It's a pretty boring game. I watched the first half and I got bored, so I turned it off. To be really honest.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to talk about this game? Recap. Wait. I'm really proud of the New England defensive line, which has been non-existent all year and then gets 8 sacks this weekend.
God bless.
8.
Contained the shit out of Marcus Mariota. It was the game plan. It's what we always do.
If I was a Jaguars fan, I would be scared of their D-line because all of a sudden, 8 sacks. Blake Bortles only played well yesterday because there was essentially no pressure on him. But even when there has been pressure on him,
he's been pretty maneuverable in the pocket. Like, he can escape very quickly.
He is, but he's also a different quarterback when there's pressure and when there's not. And for some reason, after Ryan Shazier got injured, there's been no communication on that defense, which is a good transition into our next game.
The Jaguars.
Keenan,
the Jaguars Steelers game, the 45-42 football game where the Jaguars somehow won. What do I have to say? The Jaguars offense was absolutely on fire, and the Jaguars defense was pretty cold, to be honest. I think it's the first game in NFL history where like a quarterback throws 5 touchdowns in the postseason and they lose or something. But basically, to put it bluntly, nobody really expected the game to end the way it was. It was pretty intense, to watch, because it's not what I expected at all. My heart was racing the entire time. I didn't expect the Steelers to catch up that quickly, and
dude, you were freaking out when they were winning 28-7.
Yeah, because the Steelers started moving the ball really well, and they got some really good deep passes to Antonio Brown, and it worried me because with the Jaguars, they can fuck up in an instant. Their offense, Blake Bortles can throw one pick and the game could be over there. The momentum can shift and we lose. But Blake Bortles ended up playing very well. Had some good completions, and they just really worked the middle of the field with checkdowns and easy passes in the middle of the tight ends and wide receivers. Because the linebacker core has not been the same since Shazier has been there, and it really showed. Bortles was able to just work the middle of the field and just keep pounding. He got all of his third down completions mostly just right in the middle of the field, just passing a 6-7 yard check down after 1 to 2 runs. So, I mean, what's more to say? The Steelers played like shit on defense. They played really well on offense, but
did they really play that well? Because the beginning of the game, it was
bad in the beginning, but you look at how it built up, because after the interception, he got Big Ben was slinging some throws, getting some decent checkdowns, some out routes. They picked shit right up.
My thing was yesterday watching the game, I was impressed with the Jaguars. The entire team, I was very impressed, except for Blake Bortles. And hear me out on this, because going into the fourth quarter, Blake Bortles didn't even have 100 yards passing. It was all the running game, and it was all the defense. I don't think that they're going to win without Blake Bortles throwing. I don't think they're going to win if Blake Bortles only has 100 passing yards before the fourth quarter against the New York Patriots.
That's a fair point. But you look at our team and how it's built. We run 50%. I think it's exactly 50% of our runs in our plays in the regular season were runs, and that's the highest ratio in the NFL. And it shows, how consistently we've been.
So that's true. That's true. But if you watch any New England Patriots game, their main thing they do is take out your best player, right? Leonard Fournette. If you take Leonard Fournette out of the equation, and I'm going to take, their entire running game, do you think that the Jags can win solely on Blake Bortles'?
Yes, I believe they do. Because even if you diminish the run game, you still have a very stable and stoic defense, which albeit didn't play very well this week, but I believe they'll be back to almost back to form fully next week, which will cause some headaches for the deep ball of the Patriots. But I feel like Bortles, and as his confidence has grown this week, because last week in Buffalo just wasn't a good week, I feel like he'll be able to, play how he's been doing this year, which is pretty decently for considering it's Blake Bortles. And I feel like he's just going to put another performance similar to this one, where he steps up when he needs to, but plays like Blake Bortles for half the game. But if he plays...
Valid. So my question is from this game, do you think Big Ben should retire?
No, absolutely not. I think Big Ben is still a phenomenal quarterback in this league. I think that he's only 35 years old. He plays very well, at the game of football, and he's just
he's
good. Don't get me wrong, he's very good.
Some of those passes were tight passes, and then his receivers made amazing
he's got the best weapons in the game. He's got a young stud in Juju Smith-Schuster. He's got Martavis Bryant's probably going to go, but he's got Antonio Brown for next year. Assuming, Le'Veon Bell gets tagged, they still have a fantastic runner. Their offense is amazing. They have a great O-line. Like, he'd be stupid to retire now. They still got chances at championship. I feel like the front office and coaching can, be mixed up a bit. I feel like, they could... Like, I mean, come on. You have, 3 4th and shorts, and you don't sneak on any of them? I mean, come on.
Also, that's ambitious.
Yeah, you got a huge quarterback.
Like
Big Ben also threw his offensive coordinator under the
bus. Yeah, that's what Big Ben does. Like, he's been known to do this, but I feel like this time, this specific game is very much warranted because, come on, there's so many questionable play calls that they did today. I think that...
I think the Steelers would be better off if they draft someone, have him sit behind 2 years behind Big Ben, and then come in, kind of like what the Chiefs are doing now with Alex Smith, because Big Ben doesn't have the fire he used to, and he said that after week 5. He's like,
okay,
maybe I'm going
he
to
said
retire.
That sort of in the moment of things. I wouldn't put it past him.
I think he's going to say it again because
I think someone that can shoot out 42 points with 456 yards and 5 touchdowns has the fire.
How much of that was in garbage?
You say garbage
but there's
time, but there was still a legitimate chance for them to score. And the only realistic garbage time that was the last touchdown of the game, because it was just so poorly done, and the Steelers knew they weren't going to have a chance. So you take that last touchdown out, it'd be what? A 45-38 game. That's realistically what it ended up being, because they scored a touchdown in the last second of the game, so it really didn't matter.
Oh, yeah, there was so much questionable
the onside
play calling.
Kick. I feel like
Steelers.
Oh, Mike Tomlin, I think failed his team a lot. I think the play calling was ass.
So why is Mike Tomlin never held responsible for his actions? Because this is a reoccurring theme now for so long. The Steelers haven't won a Super Bowl since the Cardinals-Steelers Super Bowl. They've been only twice with Mike Tomlin, with probably
3 times
the most talented
Tomlin,
roster.
Right? Yeah, they went to the
3
Packers,
times.
and they beat the Seahawks, and they beat the Cardinals, yes.
Mike Tomlin wasn't the coach?
Let me check, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah, check on that.
It's at least 2, but still, I have a few choice words on Mike Tomlin. I don't think he hypes up the players at all. I think he does about the opposite. The dude's a complete dick. When you look at it, he shit talks every single team he plays.
He was looking ahead to the Patriots before even beating the Jaguars.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
You don't rule out a team in the playoffs. I don't care who you are. You can be the Vikings for all I care. Whatever. Purple People Eater Viking era. But still, anything can happen in the playoffs, and you obviously saw it here.
My correction.
Mike Tomlin's an idiot, especially
my quick thing.
But again, my question is, why does Mike Tomlin get away with it? No one calls him out on it. No one says that Mike Tomlin, you're allowing your players too much freedom in the locker room. Otherwise, why was Le'Veon Bell bringing up his contract situation 3 days before a playoff game in the divisional round?
I think there are a lot of underlying issues, with the team. But at the same time, you expect all the players to come out and play their best and absolutely try their best in this playoff scenario. And they just didn't.
I don't know.
I think the play. I think
they played a decent game. I think the play call.
Yeah, sorry. The players did try their best, but I feel like you can really just. I feel like it's a mixture of both. Everybody could have tried a bit harder, especially on defense. And I feel like.
Well, yeah.
I feel like I don't really know how to put it. I feel like the Steelers have had a long history of just scapegoating their problems. At least with Mike Tomlin. And I feel like the reason why they don't hold him accountable is because he does have that Super Bowl win, and he has a very good record with the Steelers. So nobody expects the coach to be the issue here. But if you look at it just from this game, I feel like he is the issue.
Think about this: the only person who has beat the GOAT twice in the Super Bowl, Tom Coughlin, was fired from the Giants after not even that bad of season.
He was retired, really. He wasn't quite retired. Yeah. Well, he was forced to retire.
He was
but
forced
he
to
didn't
retire.
he didn't quite get fired.
That's being responsible for your actions. With a roster that's so loaded, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they should have been scoring 45 points every game. Any team in the NFL wants Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Eli Rogers. On their defense, they have Mitchell. They have so many good players. But they were going to lose next week to the Patriots anyways. I think the Jaguars have a better chance. So I'm glad that the Jaguars won.
I don't appreciate that reference to the 2 Super Bowl losses there. That was kind of uncalled for.
I weirdly liked it.
Throw that out there. I don't need a reminder.
Hey man, Tom Coughlin coached some great ass games.
David Tyree made a catch.
Hey, you want to calm down?
Stephon Diggs.
Okay, no, it was better than Stephon Diggs because it got the Patriots out of the playoffs. Sorry, it got the Patriots from the Super Bowl.
You mean
Patriots to miss out on the
I know, right?
all right? Are we done with this game then?
Yeah,
Bortles is the greatest quarterback to ever live.
the best game.
Let's get down to the best game of the year, or probably in the history of the NFL.
Easily the best game of the year. That game was good as fuck.
Unless there's some other shit that happens that just blows us away, which would be amazing, but there's probably not going to be anything better than
I
that.
think,
Jake, you should give a recap of what happened.
Yeah. Give us a little recap.
So obviously we saw in the beginning it was a complete shootout from the Vikes. Drew Brees was just sucking the bag. It was a 16-0 lead, or 17-0. I'm sorry, lead in the beginning at going into the locker room. Going into the locker room and coming out. There's something we're doing in the locker room because we always give up if we have a big lead in the first half, because we came out and the defense just sucked. Drew Brees was nailing all those passes. It seemed like Terrence Newman was just giving up in the end zone. Right when the Saints would get to the red zone, we would just always just give up. We just say, "Oh, they're going to score here," and just let them score, I guess. Ted Ginn had a few good passes. Michael Thomas got his weirded, as he usually does. But in the end, it came down to Will Lutz kicking that 43-yard field goal to put him up 24-23 lead, and
that's when the game ended, right?
That's when the game should have ended, but they left too much time on the clock, which I would like to get to later, and they really just ate it. It was one of the hardest losses I've ever seen in my life. One of the best wins, probably the best win in Vikings history. I was crying with a lot of fans. We were all hugging each other in the stands. I was ready to go. I turned around, and there was that big 21-yard pass by Case Keenum to Diggs.
You mean 61-yard
61.
pass?
Well, I mean, I'm saying, well, the ball was in the air, and then Diggs just ran it in.
So, all right, here's a big thought process right here. The catch by Stephon Diggs, the Minneapolis Miracle, as it has now been called by the
Hell yeah
announcers. It's a great name. It was an outstanding play, right?
It was a beautiful play, yeah.
It's a beautiful play. However, that safety who whiffed the tackle and took out his own dude.
Yep.
That was one of the most boneheaded decisions I've ever seen.
So I'm going to defend him because I think that he was really trying to make sure that he didn't get a penalty, right? That was his main concern, because if he gets a penalty there, they're in field goal range and they kick the game-winning field goal. So he went shoulder first, not even looking, hopefully just going to hit Stephon Diggs' legs and take him out.
I'm just going to say now, because Deion Sanders, who's in my opinion the best defensive player in NFL history, said that 95% of defensive backs have the mentality of not making a mistake. 5% that play to make a play are the ones who are the best. That play right there was him playing to not make a mistake. He didn't want to get a penalty called on him. He wanted to play it nice and passive. and he wanted to try to take the dude down inbounds.
But
and
that's
make it-
probably
I
that's probably
completely
what his coach
disagree.
told him.
and that's probably what the coach told him. But
No.
in the end, he fucked up. You can't spin that any
You
other
can't.
way.
No, you
Dude,
can't.
he's also a rookie.
Gift the tackle. Yeah, I mean he's a rookie. It's tough. That's a tough play. But in the end, I don't care how you spin it. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say to defend him. The dude screwed it up. He absolutely screwed it up. I feel horrible for him. I think that's got to be the worst feeling. The dude started bawling immediately, and
Dude, it's not even his
Here's
fault.
my
It's
here's
not
my
even his
problem.
fault. How does
here's-
the offense put up 0 points in the entire first half, right? They didn't have a single point in the first half.
Oh no, it's not
That is-
on him.
That
It's
is not on him. It's
single-handedly.
you
at
have
all.
great weapons on your team. You have Kamara, you have Ingram, you have Thomas. You have so many weapons, and you can't score a single point. And then you're relying on a rookie safety. To
I
make the
actually-
play.
I say the
It's
reason
not all
why
his fault.
And there were so many 3-and-outs in the first half too. It was
I
amazing.
think that the reason I think the Saints should have won, and I feel like the reason they didn't win was because of their first half and how poor both Drew Brees and just the entire Saints offense played. But they played a near perfect game in the second half, so that was phenomenal. But like if they even scored like one touchdown, I feel like the game would have been over much earlier. Like I just feel like the Saints, like you take the second half and look at it, and you cannot just take from that. I couldn't believe that they performed as poorly as they did in the first half.
Here's my problem. You can say it anything about the Saints offense in the first half, but when it came to the second half, the reason that they lost is because Sean Payton was playing to lose. And I say this because you are they're on third down with 33 seconds left on the clock, and they just give up. They say, okay, we'll take the 43-yard kick instead of trying to convert. Why the hell would you not at least take 6 seconds off the clock on an attempted pass even? You leave too much time for the Vikes, and they just take the 43-yard kick, and they made it. But then they get down. It comes to the Vikes, and they're passing as always, and they're running man coverage. They're running man coverage with 25.
Yeah, I don't understand either. Why
What was
are
the
you
deal?
running man coverage?
Why are you
Why not?
running man coverage?
Why is there only one man back there to stop?
I swear to God,
Yeah, exactly.
like NFL coaches should play like maybe a couple games in Madden, like before each game, just to get an understanding.
Like, I understand that you don't want to give field goal position, but you can still play zone prevent defense.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, and that's the thing too. Is you let Diggs get on the outside, and I think even if that rookie Saints safety wouldn't have miffed the tackle, I think Diggs would have caught the ball anyway, and even if he
didn't miss the tackle, you guys would have
run
lost because it would have
all
been
the way.
inbounds. You guys would have immediately lost.
Maybe, but the way he
I
was going
don't-
for the tackle, Stephon Diggs could have easily stepped
Oh yeah,
out of
no,
bounds.
like
gotten out of bounds.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
if, and I feel like Stephon Diggs would have made the correct play, obviously, but it's over now. In my
I think he
like,
would
I
have
just
ran
feel like
out.
you can argue that like the defender didn't make the play. It really sucks for him. I feel really bad for him, but in the end, he didn't make the play, and
I
the
don't.
Vikings won. I just feel bad because he's a great
Alright, well,
rookie,
I
and
think-
that's the only thing people are going to think about from him now.
He has made some good plays. He had a good rookie year. I think we're talking a lot about the hypothetical, a lot about what could have been or what should have been or whatever.
But you got to
But
give it
let's-
up to Stephon Diggs.
Let's just talk about what actually happened. Because goddamn, if that wasn't a phenomenal game of football, I don't know what is. It was
That's classic
absolutely
football
outstanding.
right there.
That's
That's
why
the
you
way it
watch.
should be,
It's why you watch right there.
and that's why you go to the game too.
That's why you go. Because you got the skull chants. You got all that shit going on. It is unbelievable.
That was amazing. The Viking clap with Case Keenum. That was the coolest thing I've seen.
Dude,
stands there.
and it was just amazing being there too, because they had a bunch of legends there too. They had Chris Carter there talking. They had Chad Greenway. God, I'm forgetting a couple names, but it's really a cool experience how much they include their legends in the games. They have little video segments even talking about The Vikes need to bring it home for Carl Eller and Fran Tarkenton,
Donovan
and
McNabb.
Paul Krause.
Yeah, they had that
It's
all
really
over
just
the stadium.
It's really cool. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, and that stadium is just amazing,
what I'm probably
too.
gonna do next year is, since bus lines are really cheap, I'll just take a bus to the stadium, hang out with some friends in Minnesota, and go to the Packer Vikings game. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think
I just really think the stadium's immaculate, and I just want to visit it. Really,
it's amazing. It's amazing how cool they keep it in there too. It was like a crisp 70, like 65 degrees in there.
Because
yeah, it was amazing.
The NFL, the Fox pregame was talking about how hot it was.
But it's probably hot in the broadcast.
It was not hot at all.
To be completely honest.
Yeah.
That's fucking Fox Joe Buck.
Well, yeah. Plus, it's hot from all the all the stank in the room of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Just
Troy Aikman with his really red face, getting closer to the goddamn window as he casts the game. And then Joe Buck trying to mention the Packers.
Dude, but you got to give it up to Joe Buck. You got to give it up to Joe Buck yesterday. He did not botch the commentary
he did not.
yesterday for that.
He did a good job.
Honest to God, I was waiting for a Tony Romo moment where both of the commentators I don't know about that, and they fuck it up really badly and make it annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
And they didn't. No. I'm really happy.
But they did not botch it.
For one time, I'm happy that Joe Buck took over the conversation, because honestly, it only takes it's only a matter of time if Troy Aikman starts dominating the conversation before it's just those goddamn Cowboys. How about that, huh?
Des Bryant would have made that catch.
Des Bryant.
Cole Beasley would have been in that situation.
Cole Beasley, God, what's he up to? Is he gonna be on the Cowboys next year?
Who even knows? He had that one good game against the Packers, and that was it.
But dude, this game was wild. I'm so happy that the Vikes won.
I am too.
I'm still in disbelief. Really, it was just so cool.
Cannot believe that shit.
No, I was walking out of the stands, getting ready to just
quit it.
Cry, just really for the loss. I was in disbelief of the loss, even thinking that they were going to lose. But I walked up, still hung out in the stadium with some other Vikes fans near the restaurant area, just watching the game, and there it was. The most immaculate play I've ever seen in my life. You got to give it up to Case Keenum for that. And I was surprised to see how many yards he got to. Everybody was shit talking Case Keenum, but he's still throwing on target quite a bit for a lot of yards.
15 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
That's not bad against this. I mean, that's a hard matchup.
Yeah, that was one.
Give
it up to him. He
Case Keenum's the goddamn future.
Sure. He really
Absolutely.
did.
And everybody's
is amazing.
And everybody's saying, "Oh, okay, you guys were talking about this last week or whatever, 2 days ago. Case Keenum can't perform under pressure." Well, there you go. There's Case Keenum performing under pressure there.
My problem is, I think the Vikings aren't going to
because the Vikings front office doesn't fucking understand how to keep a franchise good for a while.
No, they don't understand how to treat their players.
They have Sam Bradford and Teddy B. Okay, sure, they could maybe be starters, but they're not going to be as good of a starter as that team needs to be to win championships.
My opinion is
what you could do. Use those two quarterbacks as goddamn potential for
trading. Or just release them, put them on free agency, and get the cap space to sign Keenum for a good salary.
Or just trade Teddy for a second-round pick. Someone's going to pay a second-round pick for Teddy.
I wouldn't even
pay a third-round pick
like
for
the
Sam
opposite,
Bradford.
If somebody will pay a fucking second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo,
okay, but that deal was fucking that was too good. That was a terrible deal.
That was too good.
Here's my problem with the Vikings, and I wouldn't even put it past them to just give Keenum the franchise tag without even renegotiating the contract and the
give him the franchise.
Franchise tag.
Keenum, though. That's 28.
Well, here's the thing: you look at the franchise tag.
But dude,
that's like a make it or break it year. Then, so if Keenum doesn't perform at the level he did this year, then he's fucked out of a long-term contract, which I feel like Keenum really wants.
Yeah. I think another team will pick him up, just like with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins,
but that means he needs to perform very well still. You know, like if he
You can't.
fucks up the next year, then he's out of a job.
But think about it. Think about it. If he's actually a franchise quarterback, what's the harm in putting the franchise tag on him to see if
Because
he
he
can
can't-
perform
You
with
can't renegotiate
an
your
entire
contract when you're
That's
under a
true.
franchise tag.
Yeah, but you
Eh.
can next year after.
I mean,
he plays.
I think it's better if he negotiates a
don't-
contract now, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah,
It's better for him,
he's
the
only
person.
getting paid like
I
one.
think-
He's
I
only getting
think
paid
that
like
It's way better for
1.6
the
million.
franchise. Like it's like the Vikings themselves if they franchise
So-
tag him.
I think the Vikings should try to retain their defensive players this year. Put more cap in that. And
That's the
then
problem.
After franchise tagging him, give him a long-term deal afterwards.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think they're gonna. I think this is gonna be the Vikings' only shot to make it to the Super Bowl because they're gonna lose about half their team for next year. They're gonna lose Pat Schumer. They're
Pat
gonna
Schumer's
lose
the biggest loss
their
by
defensive
far.
partner, and
Yeah, that's a shame.
they're gonna lose most of their defense. They're probably gonna lose Case Keenum, and we're gonna be stuck with fucking Bridgewater.
Yeah, I don't think he's the
because
future.
that's who they want. Because the Vikings are so stupid. Every single time push comes to shove, they go with the bad move, and somehow they don't realize it.
This is good for the Jaguars.
Come on,
The
man.
future
Tom
of the
Coughlin's not going to fuck
Jaguars.
up our off season.
So,
Yeah, that's
so
a good
I was,
point.
I was thinking before that Tom Coughlin should try to go after Eli for
No.
the Jaguars, but Eli has a non-trade clause in his contract, so he can't actually be
He
traded.
has to be straight up
Oh,
released.
really?
Yeah, he has to be released and then picked up. He cannot be traded.
I swear to God, like I would be
Isn't that kind of
so
an asshole
upset
move,
with
though?
Eli with if we took an Eli Manning because he's old, and we have Blake Bortles who's been developing pretty damn well.
He's also played.
Yeah,
like
he's
garbage.
played worse than
He's
Blake
played
Bortles.
Garbage.
Albeit he has less. Actually, they have probably the same amount of weapons. Like, come on.
After Ben
running
McAdoo
back,
got
though.
fired, though, Eli
Oh,
was
yeah.
playing good.
Like Eli had more drive to succeed
I
in my
wouldn't rule
opinion.
Eli out yet.
Sucks
I think
bad.
Eli's got
Playing
another
with
good year in him.
Shoulder. Eli's playing with the chip on his shoulder because he got benched and lost his streak for one game, which was so.
Yeah, and
so
Eli
bad.
took it like a
That was
fucking
messed
champ.
up.
McAdoo benching him was the scummiest move I think of this year.
That was the biggest dick move I've ever seen.
I
They
am
started
disgraced.
Geno Smith.
I am
Especially for
disgraced that
Geno
Ben McAdoo is from De Pere, Wisconsin. Because
Yeah, he was
it's
He was the quarterback coach for the Packers.
Yeah, now he lives in De Pere.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Ben
That sucks.
McAdoo sucks
I want to be
bad,
friends with him.
and I'm
I
glad
just
that
want to
he's
like
gone.
hang out with the guy.
Even if you look at the dude, he's a greasy motherfucker.
He looks
He
so
looks.
Ben,
Oh
Ben
my
McAdoo.
God.
All right, I want to say this. Eli Manning, I fucking hate Eli Manning. All right,
Why?
He sucks ass.
He's
As a
a
quarterback,
Patriots fan,
And he
dude.
fucking beat our ass twice in the Super Bowl. Eli Manning and the New York
But he
Giants
sucks ass.
Come on. Oh yeah,
The
he sucks.
Patriots twice in the Super Bowl.
He beat
fucking
the
nabbed
Pats.
us.
He beat
They
the
nabbed
Pats
us.
twice when you guys had Randy Moss.
We
and
had
Get
got
fucked,
Randy
dude.
the
Moss.
greatest backfield in
We had
franchise
the best
history.
team- We had the best team in NFL history, undefeated season, and Eli Manning and the New York Giants.
Plexico
And David
Burris.
Hey, guys.
Tyree, a goddamn
You know,
Plaxico Burris.
string
think of it
That
this way.
muscle
helmet
catch. That
You know,
route run.
helmet catch
Plaxico
that
Burris, you know, he shot himself in the foot, and now he's not playing football. And David Tyree just wasn't good enough to even play another fucking game.
He couldn't even play.
David
another-
Tyree
Tyree, like,
like
go
went out of
bankrupt or
fucking
something.
business.
He literally got cut. He literally got cut. The dude made the greatest catch in NFL history.
Yeah,
and then
because
got
he's a
cut.
bad
I saw a
wide
couple of those
receiver. Like, he
guys,
sucks
though.
ass. It's like
He's not a good
Santonio
wide
Holmes who
receiver.
made that like tiptoe catch against the fucking Cardinals. Like,
Antonio Holmes had a good
okay,
Career.
but
Good.
he like
good
left
career.
he left the
David
he left the
Tyree didn't have
Steelers on
any
bad
career.
terms because he just was lazy, and he was an ass.
But Santonio Holmes was on the team on the Jets that went to the AFC Championship
Yeah,
game.
and he
twice in a
was
row.
good there. What
he-
I'm saying is that like he just like didn't take his job seriously as a Steelers player, and then just left because he had to.
So what's the question right now? What are we actually
I
discussing?
okay, but like, so I
couldn't even
saw
tell ya.
We were talking about the fucking Case Keenum contract, and then somehow
I heard this
Yeah,
I heard this
Case
from a
Keenum
buddy of
contract.
mine. But Ben McAdoo is the type of guy to own a female body inspector T-shirt.
Yeah, that's totally true.
That's
I think it's
legitimate.
pretty good.
Ben McAdoo is a greasy dude.
He is weirdly greasy.
I honestly, because as I was saying, I hate the Giants. I really do. I really hate the Giants. But Ben McAdoo is a cock. And I'm very happy that he's gone. And I think that him benching
I think everybody's
Eli
mad.
Manning was fucking
Wasn't
scumbag.
wasn't the story behind Ben McAdoo getting cut like he walked up to like his office and the key card like didn't work and nobody even told him that he was
I thought that
fired?
was a rumor.
I think that's what
Oh
that's
my
what
God.
actually happened, I think.
That's fantastic if that's what
The
actually
thing
happened.
with Ben McAdoo is I would have supported Ben McAdoo benching Eli if it was for a rookie, quarterback that you wanted
Yeah.
to. No, but it was.
I
Test
wouldn't
him out.
even-
show him off.
It was.
I
for
wouldn't even do
Geno
that.
Smith.
That's
Yeah,
still a dick move.
No. Even in the situation, if it was like you're playing a quarterback who's like got some legitimate talent and he's a rookie, like Daddy's saying, absolutely legitimate call. But if you're gonna bench him for Geno Smith, a dude who has had his shot and is clearly not the caliber of a starting quarterback in the NFL, that's just scumbag. Especially when you're literally not playing for anything. The game doesn't mean anything. You're like it's
They've got
over.
2 wins.
He ruined his streak. For
There's
them.
no mathematical chance of them going to the playoffs, and you just
Yeah,
spit in
he's
Eli's
just-
face.
he's shitting his dinner.
Your quarterback since 2005. You
He
spit in
literally
the face
put ketchup
of him
on his steak.
for Geno Smith.
His fucking well done steak. That's basically what he's doing.
Pretty much.
Maybe Ben McAdoo just had a vendetta against Eli. He wanted to end his streak and end it, because Eli was visibly mad.
Yeah.
He was crying in the locker room in the interview. It was sad. It was
Yeah,
really sad.
imagine that you haven't even gotten injured. You aren't going away because there was no reason for it. Of course you're gonna cry. You have the second longest streak in NFL history.
I mean, he's also
Well,
a
it's
G-man through and
unbelievable.
through. Like, he's brought more, like, success and love to that franchise than I think than anybody in, like, that franchise's history.
When he got drafted, that was one of the most, like, the largest
Oh, yeah.
debacles I've ever seen.
I don't want to play for the
Yeah, 'cause
Chargers.
he was
Fuck
in-
those guys.
Yeah, he was on the
I don't wanna
Chargers
play
for
for
like
the
2
Chargers.
minutes.
Yeah, he's a San Diego Chargers legend, Eli Manning. Kind of like
Hell
what's his
yeah.
name? What was?
Didn't play a game.
It's
I
like
like
Jerry
Drew
Rice
Brees.
was Seahawks legend.
And a Raiders legend.
I love Raiders legend.
NFL straight, baby.
God damn.
What else do we got to discuss here? I don't even know.
I think Cam Newton's a big baby. But I really,
hate Cam
really
Newton with a
wanted
fiery
the
fucking
Carolina
passion.
Panthers to beat the Saints. Like, I thought that the Panthers fucking Vikings game would be lit as hell.
I think it would have been an easier
I mean,
game.
they
What
beat you
what I
earlier in the
ultimately
year, so
wanted-
I was hoping for a good rematch.
I know, but Saints are just a mysterious force. I think that was about the hardest
Yeah, that's
matchup we
true.
could have gotten because we could have gotten the fucking Rams.
That
to
would've
play
been hard.
against.
Like, really hard.
Might have been not. That would have sucked.
That would have
Do
sucked.
you really
What are you talking
want
about?
Todd Gurley running?
Dude, did you not see when we played
Yeah,
him
they just
before?
like peed on you. Wait.
No.
Let me think.
Vikings
I'm
beat
thinking.
the
I'm
Rams.
thinking.
We
I'm
held
thinking
Todd
of the
Gurley to
Rams
like
Seahawks game.
37 yards. No, we held Todd Gurley to like 30 something yards.
Hell yeah,
So
dude. I'm just all right. Let's look at the future. Let's look at this motherfucking game, the Jaguars Patriots game, where the Jaguars are clearly gonna win.
Okay, dude.
I think we should wait till later in the week
All right,
to
that's
do
fair.
predictions.
But go Jags, Super Bowl for
But-
life. Let's go. Hashtag 100.
Yeah, is there anything you guys want to say for recap for week divisional round? What would this be? Week 19?
Jaguar or
Technically-
Blake Bortles has a better playoff win percentage than Tom Brady.
Suck my
Absolutely,
cock.
with pleasure.
I guess that's technically true.
Is that true?
Blake
Case
Bortles
Case
has-
Keenum has a better playoff.
Did you know that
win
motherfucking
percentage
Blake
than-
Bortles? Blake
Nick
goddamn
Foles
Bortles.
does, too. Everybody does.
No, Nick Foles lost. Nick Foles lost his first playoff game.
Blake-
to Drew
Blake
Brees through over in
Bortles
2013.
yeah.
Has the same number of playoff wins as motherfucking Tony Romo.
Can we all appreciate the fact? Can we all appreciate the fact that the 4 quarterbacks remaining are Brady, of course, Case Keenum, Blake Bortles, and Nick Foles?
It's
what that
2
tells me?
backups, a motherfucking college
Defense-
reject, and Tom Brady.
Defenses win championships. That's what this proves.
Tom Brady is legitimately just
Tom
like
Brady
all
has a
those
backpack that can fit
15,
literally
16 years
52
ago.
people.
Like when the Super Bowl was coming up, and it was Tom Brady versus Kurt Warner. It was like, dude, this is a fucking joke. The Patriots are absolutely a joke right now. It's the same shit. You can't count out anybody. Absolutely. Case Keenum, Nick Foles, Blake Bortles, Tom Brady.
Okay. I think we can count out Blake Bortles here.
They are all there for a reason.
Like, I swear to
Blake Bortles
fucking
is
God,
really
if Blake
fucked.
Bortles wins Super Bowl MVP or something like that, I'm gonna lose my shit and, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
If the Jaguars win the Super Bowl, Blake Bortles.
As a Vikes fan, though, I'd rather see the Jags play the Vikes because I think
No,
it'd
that'd be a
easier
hard
game.
ass game.
I'd rather have the Eagles play the Patriots just because the Patriots defense
All right.
isn't as good, and I think the
All right,
Eagles.
who do you
can
think
beat
is the best
Patriots.
team left out of the 4? Jaguars.
Vikes.
Eagles.
All right.
Holy shit! Let's
All right,
I wasn't biased at all.
All right, on that
That
beautiful
wasn't-
note,
I think
on
that's
that
where we should
beautiful
end it.
note, this is the end of our second fucking podcast. Shank Talk coming at you live. Thanks for listening, whoever ended up stayed till the end, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take it easy.